Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in for Songbird's very first camp video. This video is a little longer. This is going to be one of the longest videos on my channel, but shows everything from rolling into the site, picking up camp, hanging, while talking about hanging my bear bag. I actually didn't get that on camera. And then what's in my food bag, what goes into a 6-day resupply, and also some of the dealing with weather in the morning and having rain when it's kind of unexpected, and how the poncho, tarp, and bivvy hold up in some wet conditions. So have fun checking it out. I hope you like it, and let me know if you like this video in the comments. Thank you. So it's not super late in the day, but I've done a big day for what shape I'm in, and I just rolled into a really nice camp. Read about this earlier in Gut Hook, which is why I love Gut Hook. People leaving comments about, oh look, nice flat ground with a pine needle cushion, So tonight's gonna be a really good night's sleep. We got some deadfall to worry about, but it's all pine branches, and a lot of them don't look like they've got enough stuff to kill anybody. So probably I'm gonna avoid that one in the middle over there and find a flat spot somewhere over here. Thinking behind that stone bench might be good for me. And if you look up, always look up for deadfall. Nothing to worry about. Well, I got my chill spot for the night. I'm gonna hang out here. I'm gonna sleep over here, and in a few minutes I'm gonna probably get my cold soak started, and I'll show you that works. And then afterwards I'll set up my shelter over here so that while the food's cooking, cold soaking, cooking, I can do some other work, and it'll be done when I'm ready. I can unpack stuff here, get to my food bag, put everything on my tarp. Dirty gear is gear that does not last, my friends. Okay, my sleeping pad's in there. That can come out last. This big old food bag. Unfortunately, the ramen's at the bottom, so I'm gonna have to make a little mess unpacking. The reason I am not doing something else for dinner is that I want to use up the rest of this little bit of peanut butter in here, crunchy peanut butter. What you do is you put some ramen in with the crunchy peanut butter and you let it soak, and it makes like a Thai peanut ramen kind of thing. So I've got a couple flavors: creamy chicken, beef. I'll probably try to make it with creamy chicken so it tastes like chicken pad Thai. Sounds pretty terrible, right? Alright, so I figure since I'm going to unpack everything anyway, and I'm alone, and I don't have to worry about anyone thinking I'm crazy talking to the camera, I'm going to unpack everything in this food bag and show you guys what goes into about 6 days of food for, a 6-day section, 5-day section. Usually I like to pack an extra day of food just in case I have to worry about not getting to town when I expect. So these are some hot peppers from Trail Angel Mary. She knew I liked hot food and wings and stuff, and so she went ahead and gave me some hot peppers. Here's my trash bag. Super easy, guys. Look at that. Orange peel, all kinds of stuff. Easy peasy. If you're wondering where the apple core is, I ate it. It's the first time doing that. It wasn't so bad. My big old bag of gorp, I'll probably snack on that if I get hungry before dinner's ready. With lemonade, I'm gonna do that in 5 seconds because I'm thirsty. Let's see. Cliff Bars, which I did not buy. These were given to me by some lady as Trail Magic. I say some lady, I don't know her name because I wasn't there when she gave it to our group. These are my favorite. These are peaches and syrup. This I'm really excited about. It's creamy broccoli cheddar soup. I'm gonna rehydrate that cold. Bear cable, I'm gonna leave that out because I'm gonna be using that after dinner since there's no bear pole or anything here. Another one of these delectable treats. Extra trash bag, I'm gonna leave that over there. My spoon, which I always manage to lose. Oh, these fell out. These are sun-dried tomatoes from Trail Angel Mary's friend Sue. They were really good on my sandwich last night. Here is a very smashed blackberry pie. I think I'm gonna eat that tonight. I'm gonna put that over here so that the ants don't get to it as easily. That's probably gonna be a mess. One very crushed Nature Valley bar. I don't really like those very much, but I had it. Pepperoni, dude. Pepperoni is super good if you can get your hands on some mayonnaise packets. So these mayonnaise packets, mayonnaise is shelf stable as long as it's not opened, right? That's what I like to think. So I get a couple mayonnaise packets, 1 packet per tortilla, or half a packet per tortilla, whatever you're, I mean, I eat a whole packet per tortilla. If I have more mayo packets, I put like two or so. But those two with a piece of cheese, boom, and a tortilla, you are good to go on lunch. It's one of my favorite lunches. More cheese, more cheese, more cheese. These are dried mango pieces from Waffle Iron. The girl I was hiking with a few days back, she gave me a bunch of extra stuff that she had in her resupply. More lunch type stuff, or dinner if you're out of like ramens and stuff. Some different flavors of tuna. I really like the chicken salad. It's got more going on in it. Creamy chicken ramen. 1, 2 of those. Beef flavor. I'm gonna set this one over here with the peanut butter jar because I'm going to be cooking that. Oriental flavor. Yeah, it's Oriental flavor. Some oatmeal packets that I took as part of my being in a hotel. They have the continental breakfast. It really sucked, so I was like, I'm gonna take some oatmeal packets for breakfast one day. There's another Cliff Bargain. I don't usually buy those for myself. At least they're not all the same flavor, right guys? And last but not least, certainly not least, really a staple of any backpacking diet, tortillas. You can put anything on a tortilla and it'll probably taste somewhat decent. So let me get everything here in the picture and you can see what all fit in this little 8-liter food bag. I've had this since I started in 2016. There's the pie over there, not to be forgotten. Spoon, extra trash bag, the sun-dried tomatoes, and then all the food. And that's dinner. So you can fit a lot of food in an 8-liter bag. You don't really need to go any bigger. And honestly, this is more food than I would normally carry between towns. Someone had been saying that it was like Port Clinton was the next good town, and I guess that's what people say because it's Hamburg, but it was 74 miles from Duncannon. So since I'm injured and I don't know how slow I'm going to be, I'm going a little faster than I expected, really. I'd like to go into Port Clinton or Hamburg, which is the hitch into town from there, and not have to worry about resupply for 70 miles or so. So there we go, and that's carried in an ultralight unframed pack. I kind of want to eat this tonight, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow. You gotta save yourself the good stuff. I'm going to eat one of these with dinner because I have no self-control. I ate 2 last night. It's worth cramming your food bag as full as you can because it will very rapidly deflate. Before you know it, I should have had it in that view while I was filming. Before you know it, you'll be out of food anyways, and your food bag will be here on like day 3. So cram it full of stuff, man. Like, so you barely fit anything because the volume of the food is pretty significant. You'll have plenty of space anyway, on the AT at least. And that's a chigger. Oh no, are there chiggers on these rocks? These flies are killing me, man. Hey, so now I'm gonna put my bear cable in there. We're gonna hang this up before it gets dark, and probably while this stuff's cooking, honestly, because it's so hard to find a bear tree, like a good tree to hang your bear cable from at night. Like, with the flashlight, it's you got this little beam where you can barely see anything, and it's like, okay, well, it's a good flashlight. I have a great flashlight, but you know, there's a lot of dead stuff here. It's going to be hard to find one that can hold the weight of this big old food bag. So set up your bearer cable before you even eat. Hang it with a rock and leave one side tied to the tree and leave the rock hanging, just so you don't, you know, have to hang it later. I put my spoon in here because I'm always losing my spoon. See, that's why I like this. I can see it on the front. And my extra trash bag, just in case. Also, if you're not going to be paying attention to your food bag, it's nice to have your bear cable set up so that you can hang your food bag when you're not paying attention to it. I'm going to keep my food bag right next to me while I'm setting up my camp because I don't want to have to go do all that stuff right now. My feet hurt. So before I do anything, I've had a hankering for flavor all day. I'll put my lemonade. I'm going to mix it strong too. Probably a little too strong, but whatever. Close it up. Instant refreshment. Now I can't just drink all my water all at once, and I'm going to be using some for cooking too, so I gotta sip on this and not just chug it, which is kind of hard to do. That's my one big sip. Put that over here so I don't drink it all. And now I'm going to do camp cooking with Songbird. Peanut butter jar with some peanut butter left over in it. It's actually quite a bit, so it should be tasty. And open it up. That's difficult, right? Put the lid kind of on it so the bugs don't get in there. And now it's time for ramen. Now, this big square isn't going to fit in here, right? Square peg round hole. So I'll typically break it. You can do it with your hands, but camp table or a rock is a good place to do it. You can, if you're careful, break up the ramen before you put it in your pack. That way it's not so pokey, it doesn't poke into your back with a crimpless pack. I've done that before where I've needed to. I've noticed it's been bothering me. I pulled all the ramen packets out and smashed them. But with all this stuff in the food bag, I'm able to kind of pad it out. I haven't had to worry about it. That should be sufficient. Now, Chef Songbird's gonna open the ramen packet. Extract the all-important sauce spice packet. This has a lot of salt in it, and this isn't something that I eat at home, but, well, not usually, but, it's really tasty, and you want to replenish all the salts that you sweat out during the day. This will more than do the job. I'm going to add the ramen to the peanut butter cup. What I normally do here is put the entire opening inside so that I don't lose anything, and then just kind of shake it. Being a little stubborn. Thankfully this peanut butter jar isn't too small. Trash goes in the trash bag. Next, the seasoning packet. I'm sure you've done this before. Also goes in the trash bag. Please tear along this line. Ah, frustrating. You tear along the line, and it's the tiniest little hole. Tear a little further down this time. That's irritating. Okay, that's good enough. Dump the sauce packet in. Seal the trash bag so we're not carrying any hop-alongs. Now I'm going to add the water from my filter bottle. I've flavored my sipping bottle, so I don't want to use up lemonade or make this lemonade flavored. That'd be kind of weird. I might have to try it now that I think about it, though. And I'm just going to add water pretty much until all the noodles are covered. There we go. Lots of broth for our noodle soup. Now, I'm going to use these up. I'm going to put a handful of sun-dried tomatoes in there, because I think that'll taste good. And since we have it, Trail Angel Mary gave us this, some hot peppers. One she's marked X hot, extra hot, and the other is Thai chili peppers. The Thai chili peppers are pretty spicy to me, and if Mary has marked these as extra hot, that means they're really, really hot. That woman can eat some spicy food, I tell you what. So I'm just gonna put the Thai peppers in, and it's perfect for our Thai ramen. I'm gonna start out with a little bit. I can always add more. That's probably more than I need. My hot food tolerance is kind of low these days. Sun's kind of crappy, isn't it? Change the angle a little bit. Maybe that's a little better. Alright, so we've got everything in here. The water's added. Seal it up real tight. Shake it. I'm really glad no one else is here. I get to talk to the camera without feeling like I'm crazy. I'll try to knock some of that peanut butter loose. And you want to eat the rest of the peanut butter out of this, or take new peanut butter for the next batch and add it to your soaking container. You don't want to leave the peanut butter in there after you've made, like I thought, like, oh, I had this big jar and I was like, I'll just keep adding ramen and like keep making peanut butter ramen forever. Bad idea. It gets all black and weird and gross, even though it's sealed up, and it's really nasty. So I'm going to be eating the rest of this stuff. I'll be scooping it with the spoon to try to mix it in better, but you can see that looks pretty delicious, right? See, these flies are everywhere, and they don't even try to fly away. It's gonna be really good. So now, while this soaks, I'm going to go ahead and set up my shelter, and I'll show you that again tonight. I'm thinking a pretty high improvised A-frame like I did before, with the trekking poles holding up the side closest to this campfire ring. Most of the prevailing wind seems to be coming from this direction, so I kind of want to block the extra wind if necessary. We're up here on a pretty exposed ridgeline. My thinking is that if I go between these two trees behind me here, I can have an A-frame, and I want to pitch it so that I can prop one side up with the poles and have the front porch mode, but then if the weather turns or if it gets colder, I can pull that down by taking the trekking poles out and staking it again. I'll probably be using some rocks, since there's so many rocks here. That way I don't have to find and cut some tent stakes. I don't carry tent stakes anymore. That's something that's pretty controversial with people, but I'm on the AT, we're in the woods. There's sticks and stones absolutely everywhere, and tent stakes are just kind of unnecessary for my little poncho tarp, so I'm gonna get to that. The poncho tarp for me started as this kind of backup, worst case scenario shelter, where if I couldn't get into a shelter at night, like one of the pre-made shelters, or if there were a lot of people at one place, or if it caught me unexpectedly out in the rain with bad weather, I could set something up and just get under it and deal with it. But as I've spent like wintry conditions, as I've been out on the AT longer, I've found that I really like it. It's a really bomb-proof, flexible piece of gear that's really amazing for the weight. So, phone battery's getting a little low from the time-lapse. I've got the charger, but I'm probably gonna plug it in while I'm eating. What I've done is I've gone around, as you probably saw, and used rocks for the supports. In some places I had smaller rocks, so I used multiple rocks to kind of anchor the main rock down. And I got a little shelf going on. Here's my shelter. Got enough overlap for any dew or anything, and if necessary I can push back further to a little bit less even ground. That's the flattest lay there. If it's more rain or anything, and I can also drop these sides down pretty easily with the rocks. Just take the trekking pole out, move the rock out, take the trekking pole out, move the rock out. Where I lost one of my pieces of cordage a while back, so I've been using this paracord lanyard from my knife. Use everything you got, right? I even used my spot GPS cord that ties it onto my pack. I usually don't need this much cordage. I only need 4 pieces usually for my normal setup, or 2 for my cave setup. But so I use this paracord lanyard here. It's kind of short, so I tied it onto a stick, and or like a branch, and put the rock on the branch, pulled that, and there you go. There's the extension of your line. It's a handy trick I learned. I figured that out in New York when I was in Harriman State Park. I was camping without any tent stakes or anything. I did the same thing back here with the stick. And then over here, last but not least, here's the multiple rocks. See that this is kind of sloped in the back. The sun is setting behind me, so I know that that is west, right? And the prevailing weather patterns in the mid-Atlantic come from where? From the west. So I know that more than likely, unless a storm system comes in, and even if a storm system does come in, I'm gonna have wind coming from this direction all night. And just to kind of temper it down a little bit and have more control, this is a very exposed ridge line that I'm camping on. You can see sky over there, you can see sky over here. It's important to have a little bit more wind protection to boost the warmth of my entire shelter system. Come in here and get a closer look. Nice bed of needles, bivy, 2-inch plus, whatever, inflatable sleeping pad, and there's bugs all over it. So I'm going to be using that bug net tonight and keeping it all cinched up, but should be nice sitting height for hanging out in there if I don't want to sit in the stone chair. But I don't know why I wouldn't sit in the stone chair. Anyway, that's set up camp for tonight. I am going to go ahead and eat my delicious peanut butter ramen. It doesn't look so good, but I promise you it is. Once I eat that, I'm going to think about what I want to eat for second dinner right before it gets dark. Maybe a tortilla or something. Probably not, since I have to dig it out, but I'm going to start looking around for bear hang. And honestly, over there looks pretty good. And over there looks pretty good as well. That's why I have 50 feet of cable, is to be able to use those big branches like that. I'm not going to do a fire. Hope no one else comes and starts a fire, because I'm a little close for comfort. The wind's kind of coming from this direction right now, which makes me think that there might be a thunderstorm coming from over here, but it's so clear and sunny over there. It might get dark here pretty late since we're so high and there's not really much obstructing the sun. It looks like we do our little trick. Okay, here's the sun. 1, 2, maybe 3 hours of light left before it gets dark. So I'm gonna do some stuff around camp, kind of get a feel for the general area around here. In case I need to go to the bathroom, I want to have a bathroom spot picked out, and sit in my comfy chair, eat my delicious food. Before I eat, I want to show you this. This is the Spot GPS. I don't necessarily recommend this over any other one, but I know that this has worked well for me. It's 4 ounces with batteries, and you can see that flashing right there, but there's a bunch of different things you can do, and the SOS and help buttons are protected so you don't trigger them accidentally. There's the OK, where you can customize the messages. 60, 50, or 60, 30, and 5 and 10 minute intervals or whatever with the tracking, the footprint there. And then that goes continuously. And then there's I've programmed this custom message to say this is where I'm camping, or I'm sheltering here for weather. Something is keeping me from going forward, I'm gonna stay here for a while. And then I cancel that in the morning or after the weather passes by clicking the OK button. So it'll light up with red lights if it's not connected. You kind of have to have a somewhat clear view of the sky sometimes. In the shelters it won't really work, you have to go put it out on the picnic table. But yeah, that way everyone knows exactly where I'm camping. And if they don't hear from me again, they know to look for my body around here, right? I tell you again, I'm not regretting bringing this sit pad at all. This is so nice. Oh man, I am pooped. It was a long day. Rock bench. AT is a hard life. Get a little bit of sun-dried tomato. good. It's like really creamy and thick. Whew, and spicy. Oh, man, those Thai peppers don't mess around. Oh crap. Man, that's good. That's some of the best ramen I've made on trail. Not even hot. Ugh. So this checked in finally. If I put this on my dessert, I won't forget about it. Now all we have left to do is eat. Hang the bear bag cable, and then eat again, because I'm probably going to be hungry. And conserve water. Need to avoid drinking all my water in one go. Spicy food's probably not great for dry camping, now that I think about it. So, my dad was expressing some concern or worry that, you know, I'd be alone and whatever. And I told him, well, it'll be like 50th night I've been alone on trail. Like, it's nothing crazy to be out in the woods by yourself when you're that used to it. Holy smokes. I just found my first deer tick. I wonder where I got them from. Wait till I show you guys this. You're not going to believe how small they are. Another handy tip: pay attention to every little feeling you get. I can feel him biting me right now. He almost got in me. Let me show you. I'm going to switch to the macro lens for this. So there's a deer tick on my thumbnail. Look how small they are. So what they do is they find their way to a nice dark warm place like the back of your knee, and they crawl around, and then once they feel safe, they bite in. I think I smashed him a little bit. He's just flipping around my hairs. You see they're not very careful walkers. They bump into your hairs and stuff. So pay attention to how you feel. But you know, you're walking all day and your legs are touching the grass, and you figure you're gonna get some ticks on your legs or something, but this guy was on my forearm. He was crawling up my arm. So, just to give you an idea here, I'm gonna zoom out and take the macro lens off, and he's still there. And he's gonna look like a little speck of dirt. You can't see him barely at all. Now look at all my stuff on my legs. It'd be really hard to spot him on some dirty legs. So, this guy put me out of commission in 2016. Not him, but one of his cousins or something. And I'm probably going to get rid of him. But I'm super glad I got to show you, not only did I find him and keep him from biting me, but I'm super glad I got to show you how small they are. I mean, just again, here's my thumb. They are very, very small. And in nymph stages, they can be even smaller. Smaller than the size of a pinhead. You'll never see them. So, here's that last shot right there. That's the little dot on the leg. And you'd never see them. Deer tick. In the interest of the common people of the Appalachian Trail, and your attempt to, no, your actual trespass upon my person and biting of this flesh with the intent to suck my blood and transmit Lyme disease into my person, I hereby sentence you to death. It is the will of the people that such execution shall be fulfilled by means of fire. now he's dead. And now I'm freaked out. I want to check all these little spots on my legs. So when you're checking for ticks, check the back of the knee. That's where I always check first. Kind of hard to see sometimes, but you could use your forward-facing camera on your phone as a mirror, or you could use an actual mirror. Take a picture with the camera, something. Make it a little easier to see around those big ham hock legs from hiking. Looks pretty good so far. I'm going to show a little leg here. There's a mole. They'll get you on the back of the thigh all the way up here. And of course in the groin, which I am not going to show that on camera. I'll check that before bed. That's a little personal. But check up here. Check the outside of the thigh. Not feeling or seeing anything. So I feel pretty good. Again, you're going to want to check here with some privacy. I'm going to check my pits. You can kind of feel along your hairline. If there's ticks in your actual hair and you've got long hair, you might be out of luck, because they're pretty small, as you saw. Though you could feel them bite you. But if you swat at it and don't feel them bite, I mean, you feel the initial bite a little bit, but if you're on the move, you're maybe not going to feel it, or you're going to think it's a mosquito. And, you know, it's not always the case that you're going to feel them in you or moving around after they're in. You know, they're pretty good at what they do. So, my knee brace is off my knee, because when I bend my legs and I sit down, it's very tight. And I'm not trying to stretch it out or anything. I want to save it for when I'm actually walking. Alright, well, before we were so rudely interrupted, I was enjoying my meal. And I'll get back to that in a second, after I've completed the tick check. This is an all-access YouTube channel. Get to see all the critical zones. Don't be shy about checking yourself when there's people around. It'll make them do it. They'll be like, what do you do? Oh, checking for ticks. That's pretty smart. I should do that. No one's gonna judge you for avoiding Lyme's disease. It's serious business. I wish there was someone to look at my back. Now that I found one on me, I'm freaking out. Again, you can use the forward-facing camera, take pictures, video, and review the footage, and if you're worried about it. There's people that actually shave their heads bald when they're out on trail for the purpose of avoiding giving ticks a place to hide. Alright, well, that's a nasty hat. I need a new hat, I think. I don't need one, but I want one. This one's pretty grungy. All the flies go to my hat instead of my body sometimes. Let me get back to eating dinner. Hopefully not too many flies have landed on my spoon. Definitely seal up your container when you're not paying attention to it. Might have to switch to a time lapse and get the sunset later. I don't know about you, but before bed I'm gonna go on Reddit. Last few nights I've been on Reddit, reading up on what's going on, reading about the other stuff going on the trail, texting my girl. Oh, that's spicy. Since there's not really much to do in camp when you're by yourself,
I mean, this helps, but I find it important to do one thing at a time. Set up your shelter, sit down, hang out, eat a snack, drink a sip or two of your drink, go hang your bear cable, scout around a little bit before dark, get an idea of where you go to the bathroom if you need to, get an idea of your general surroundings for getting around at night if you hear stuff, look for game trails, bear sign, deer sign. If you're really, really bored and these bugs that are flying all around me are bothering you, you can totally make a fire. Just be careful with your equipment. A little bit of a smoky fire is pretty nice for keeping the bugs at bay. But they're not all up in my business right now. And it's not really mosquitoes, it's just these little flies that land on everything, including the camera right there. Could put the bug net on if they bother me, but not those black gnats flying into my eye sockets all the time. Probably going to be a couple people rolling past me in the morning while I'm still sleeping. That's fine. I'm not shy. You're not technically supposed to camp so close to the trail, but two trailheads meet here. And it's kind of like a thing whenever the trailheads meet, like big ones. This is a pretty long trail, the horseshoe trail I showed you earlier on the plaque. You usually have it where there's a big campground kind of thing, campsite at that junction. I don't know why, it just usually is. And this has been listed as a stealth spot, campsite in the Gut Hook Guide, so I don't feel too bad about it. There's probably some more people going to join me tonight. People that decide that they can't make it to that next shelter, which is pretty freaking far away, which is why I'm camping here. I think I hear voices. If anybody comes around, I'm going to switch to doing just a time lapse. That way it's not me talking to my camera with someone else sitting here. Hopefully no one sketchy comes around causing me to move camp, because that would be a huge pain in the ass. And I don't like night hiking, but I'll do it to get away from a problem. People. Ah, no. Damn it. You don't want to spill food on your clothes. Which is what I just did. Try to get it out as soon as you can. Bears love ramen. I don't know if you know that. Now, in actual predator country, which I'd argue the AT isn't, you've got black bears and stuff, but they're scavengers. They're like giant raccoons. Whereas grizzlies, mountain lions, you know, opportunistic predators too. I mean, clothes you wear during the day, anything you eat in, anything you cook near, all that stuff gets taken off and put in your bear bag and hung up away from camp. Not like over there, I mean away from camp. And you gotta make sure that you're not downwind of it, because bears, especially, will follow the scent from downwind through your campsite to where the food is, and they'll hit you first. And they'll definitely sniff around looking for what it is. Absolutely every little pinprick is a tick now. Irritating. Really glad that I caught one on camera. Show you just how small they are. So good. I'm running out of food in my container here. Now, for any of you that are ahead of the curve, that's not very clean, right? Put that in your pack. It'll probably be okay for a few days, right? But pretty gnarly. You're gonna soak something else in here and soak something else. Some people think that, you know, you shouldn't clean your pot or you shouldn't clean your soaking container because it adds to the flavor. I think that's laziness and gross. So what I'm gonna do is expend even more water, which water's really close in the morning. It's like 0.6 or something, so I'm not too worried about it. Put in a pretty decent amount of water here. This is going to be some of my hydration for the night. I'm going to count this as drinking water, even though it's kind of gross, because I just can't waste my water. There's no water at this campsite. If I get thirsty, these 2 bottles are all that I have. Should be plenty. And you don't want to drink so much water that you're peeing every 5 minutes, especially when you're in your tent, or in my case a bivvy or a zipped up sleeping bag. Unzip it, you gotta get up, you gotta get out. Even in the shelters is kind of annoying, even though you could just pop out and come back in pretty easily. This is washing the dishes with a soaking container. Keep shaking it until the plastic is completely clean. Once you've got it all free from the sides, comes the fun part. Ah, that's awful. It helps if you don't think of it as dishwater. Maybe I should have used the lemonade. Are we done with that grossness, Songbird? Nope. Nope, we are not. Then we gotta do gross. A final rinse. A little less water. Keep track of how much we've got left. Pretty significant. We're gonna be fine for tonight. I couldn't make another soaked meal probably, even though I want to. If I get hungry again later, I might do it anyway. Just because I want to try that broccoli cheddar soup so badly. Really shake it up. Get all the little stuff you didn't get before out. Oh, it's delicious. That's not delicious, I was lying. So now, the moisture in there, with the food particles and stuff, it's probably fine, but one thing I'll kind of do, now that I've learned that these soaking containers can get kind of gnarly, is set it up like this on a flat rock. It's going to open, or leave it up like that. Some flies might hit it or whatever, but my goal is to let some of this moisture get out of there, because they can get pretty gross. If I have a lot of water at the end of the night, I might use my soaking container again, hang it inside my food bag with a little water and an oatmeal packet or 2. That's some good breakfast. Kind of mix some granola, oats, peanuts and stuff. Throw it in here with some chocolate chips. The only thing is I don't have the powdered milk like I usually do. Normally I'd throw powdered milk in there and shake it and make milk, and then add, and the powdered milk's light, you get a lot of it, pretty cheap. And then I'll add the granola and the oatmeal, shake it up, and it inflates just like this, cold soaked with the peanut butter ramen. It inflates, the oatmeal expands a lot and fills up the container, and you get this super dense, really chocolatey, good stuff depending on what you put in it. And a whole container of this will fill you up for a while. It's a really good trail breakfast, and it takes no effort. You don't have to sit there cooking eggs or anything. People eat this at home. They eat the rehydrated stuff at home, especially, it's a cute little bird, especially the overnight oats. It's getting really popular. That's been a shot this whole time. Dude, this bird is coming to check my camp out. I'm sorry, that's obnoxious that was there the whole time. Cute little bird. If I had a secondary camera, I'd show you. Too lazy to move all this around. Stay off my tarp. You poop on my tarp, I'll poop on you. These little flies, man, you can see them? They don't really run away from you. They just stick there. You can just... It doesn't make it any less annoying. And for the record, I don't feel bad about killing flies. Horses in fields kill flies. How about that? I don't know. I think I'm making that up. So, it's a brave bird. So what should I eat for dessert first? The blackberry pie or the always delicious peaches? I'm thinking if I don't like the pie, peaches will get rid of the bad taste, maybe, you know? I think I'm gonna eat the pie first. And I'm probably gonna use my spoon since it's so crushed. Crushed like the teenage girls that didn't get asked to prom when I was an eligible bachelor. What can I say? Man, that glare's bad, I'm sorry. Blackberry pie. So already I can tell you that this has blackberry seeds, but it tastes super fake. It's like, I know what we'll do. We'll just throw the seeds in there with the fake stuff. Oh. I hope this held up better than it looks. Let's see if it held up. Probably not super well. This is not made to be camp food. I mean, there's some drawbacks to packing out stuff that isn't normally used as camp food. Not so bad. I expected much worse. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Yeah? Eating a blackberry pie. Life's not so bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Y'all were at that last shelter, yeah?
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, must be the stone seats.
Oh, yeah?
Nice.
Y'all pushing through?
No, I think we're gonna camp right here.
Excellent.
So we're in the hill.
My chances of being eaten by a bear just turned to 1 in 3.
Right? We just saw a porcupine back there.
I read that in Porcupine. I do not want to wake up with that against my face.
Yeah. He's a cute little guy.
Yeah. Might have to pee around my campsite, make sure he doesn't come through. You're welcome to camp anywhere around me, man.
Yeah.
I don't mind. If you don't find anything over there.
I think that looks pretty good over here.
Would you hear heavy breathing during the night? It's just, you know, a dream.
Right here, right?
Yeah, just on the trail. It should be fine, right?
Yeah. Right here. Give me that one.
I was kind of joking.
Be too many people coming through tonight. Oh, man.
There's a pretty flat spot over there. And this spot's good, but there's deadfall.
So our first rattlesnake today.
Oh yeah?
It's kind of cool.
At the view?
Yeah, that interview.
I saw the note.
Yeah, well, he's still there. We updated the note. I've never seen one in the wild before, so it's kind of cool.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, I'm from Maine, so we don't have rattlesnakes up there.
Nope. I've only seen one on trail, and it was a timber rattler in North Carolina, and they've stopped rattling, so he didn't rattle at me. He just struck my trekking pole as I walked past.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's
That scared out of me. I was like, I didn't think there was a bush there. I turned around, I saw him going in.
I had heard that in parts of North Carolina, the rattlesnakes actually adapted not to rattle because of all the feral pigs.
Giving them their position away.
Yeah, exactly. Because the feral pigs will kill them and eat them. It's crazy to me, but
Pigs are terrifying, bro. Super terrifying.
looks like there maybe used to be a tower or something up here. Yeah.
Yep.
Stairs platform.
Too bad. I like camping in fire towers. Blackberry pie, 8 out of 10. Might have to get another one.
Where'd your pie come from?
Mutzbog's? Some grocery store, Mutzbog's. I think kind of a weird off-putting name, but
What town
it was in Duncannon.
was Okay, I think there was the grocery store was kind of up and off to the side, wasn't it?
Yeah, like where the bridge is, like coming from south, you turn left and go up the hill, and then it's on the left again. Fingers are so greasy from pie, I can't open my...
Yeah, I have that same issue with Propel packets. I don't know. I don't think I've had a chair or a backrest out here. Those chairs that we were sitting in at the outfield, the ones that only weighed like a pound or something. Well, I seriously considered it. Yeah. You come from Duncannon today?
I had trouble getting out of town. My buddy got injured, so I got Vortex there, seeing if he'd get better. He ended up going home, and then didn't really want to set off on my own. And after he left, I was like, I gotta get out of here. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock or something like that, so I just went to the first shelter. Pretty nice to just be able to get out.
Yeah.
And came from there to here today. On a shorter day, but
Yeah, short day too.
you came out of Duncannon?
No, we started, you know where that footbridge goes over the road at that high pass? The road kind of curves and then there's a footbridge that has a chain link fence on each side. Goes over to the parking lot, big gravel parking lot you go through.
Oh yeah, over the little road there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we started there today. And my sister was hiking with us just for the day, so we
Okay.
was just all packing.
Oh, that's cool.
Took like 10 pounds out of my pack, and we went about 9.5 miles to the last road crossing, and my parents picked her back up, and then
That's legit.
we went super heavy up here.
carry that extra water.
Yeah. We just took a 0 yesterday, so resupplied and everything, so.
Full packs.
Full packs. Although I think I had at least a couple days too much food. If we're getting into Fort Clinton
Yeah, I have too much food too.
Friday, probably. Yeah, Friday.
I'm kind of walking a little slow since I busted my leg up a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. But she said, Trail Angel Mary said, oh, it's 4 days to Port Clinton from here. And I was like, that's the next town? She's like, yeah, it's the next town. It's the next town that the trail goes through. Not like the only town. Like, I'm thinking about going into Hamburg just to pick up some stuff. But I got like 7 days worth of food because I was like 74 miles. Like, if I'm feeling bad, I'll do 10 miles a day. A lot, you know.
Yeah.
But it's been good terrain, and I'm not going to need half of this. Kind of pissed, but I get to eat whatever I want, so. Isn't the Yingling Brewery coming up?
Pottsville or something like that, yeah?
Yeah, it's like you go south to Hamburg, or you go. Is it at Port Clinton?
I don't think so. I think it may even be passed yet, but I'm not positive.
No.
I didn't know how close to the trail it was. I think it's like 15 miles. Yeah, maybe worth checking out.
I've been wanting to go in there.
They may even do shuttles too. I'm not sure if the brewery? I saw something and got hooked somewhere where it said something. Maybe it was just like one of these little brew pubs that they were referencing, so I wouldn't hold me to that. But that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wouldn't be terrible. I could drink a few. Oh, I could drink a few right now.
It's a special thing being in a camp with people you've never met and probably won't ever see again. But on the AT, we all share this bond of being in the same place for mostly the same reasons, and there's just something very special about being stuck around in the same campfire in the same common area as the sun starts to set behind you, and as it gets dark, everyone winds down at the same time and everyone goes to bed, and the sense of community is so strong and so great, and it's so comforting to be there with everybody. Bedtime. Bedtime. Some mice been running around, so I gotta make sure everything's away. A little bit of rain this morning. Dry underneath the poncho tarp. Warm in the bivvy. Stop around 6. Well, the other two guys left, so I can talk to the camera again. I'm sitting here underneath my rain fly. You can see it's keeping the rain off me a little bit. It's making me think that I might want to get an OpSack. Not for the odor-proofness or whatever, just because it's a heavy-duty Ziploc, basically. And then hang the food bag at night, and if it rains, take everything, pull the OpSack out of the food bag, and then have the ability to put the food bag, crunch it up, and put it inside the OpSack, and then everything stays dry. And it would weigh a little bit more, but I feel like that would be a good option. Anyway, so pack's really flat from laying on it. I put it underneath my sleeping pad last night to kind of give a little extra protection from anything underneath here. And then my sit pad was also underneath, but for some reason a little air got let out of my thermarest in the middle of the night. I think your hot air kind of condenses in the cold, and then the thermarest will like lose loft because it's not as inflated. So I'll test it out again tonight and make sure that there's not a hole in it. I haven't used it very much, so that would, I mean, I've used it every day I've been out here, but that would really suck if it already had a hole in it or something. Last place I used it was at that shelter, and I didn't sweep the top off really before I laid it down, and that would really suck if that was it. But I mean, it looked like spotless. I didn't see any grit or anything, so I guess there could have been something. If it pops, I'm probably gonna have to go back to a Z-rest, Z-light, just because I know it won't pop. I don't think I'm gonna do, I probably won't do anyway, a torso length pad, but I'd think about it. Anyway, I'm gonna eat some breakfast here, and maybe I'll set the camera up so that you can see me chilling out from under the rain. Get going here in a little bit. It's supposed to thunderstorm later today, and I think that I can get to that 10-mile shelter before it hits. Probably will be drizzling all day at least. But in the afternoon, those afternoon thunderstorms should be pretty bad, based off of what I saw from the weather this morning. I was looking at it. When I finally got LTE, it stopped working all night, and I was trying to text Hadley good night and stuff, and couldn't do it, so I just checked in with the spot. And this morning I checked in saying that I was okay or whatever, so tell everyone I got through the night. Yeah. My gaiters on. That way I can sit cross-legged without worrying about getting stuff all in my shoes. I just did that. I just tied my shoes and took a lot of time and didn't put on my gaiters. I do it all the time. Screw it. La 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 la. Some dirty, dirty songs. I gotta go to that Rock and Soul hostel and do some laundry. Do all the laundry. Because I haven't done laundry in a minute. And my socks are getting gnarly. Super, super gnarly. Soaking container. Worked out pretty well. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Putting these in my little pooch. Because I'm definitely not going to stop and eat lunch when it's raining. But for now, this is breakfast. And it's wet and rainy. See all the rain on that? Anywho. It's so hard to get moving on a rainy day. I pack all this stuff up and get it in my backpack so it's waterproofed. And dry off my food bag. This is wet from last night. Probably dry it off with my buff. Dry that off with my buff. Put it in my backpack. And get everything waterproofed. Then head out. My waterproof tarp. Shake off some of the water. Put it on. Can't wear this rain jacket while I'm walking all day. I'll burn up. This is pretty warm. It's foggy and wet and gross. So I got that going for me. Which is nice, I guess.
Tried to get him to turn around. Once he saw me, he just lit out. He's like, nope. I ran out into the rain for that. I didn't get the shot I really wanted. Oh well. No, we were thinking there's probably a fire tower here at one point. Well, I guess it could have been a shelter of some kind. Look at that camp. Isn't it beautiful?
Hey, glad you got all the way through the video. I really hope you liked it. I hope it showed you something that you haven't seen about the AT before. If you're thinking about hiking it, it kind of gives you an idea of what some of the campsites look like, where there's not a shelter, it's just an open flat spot where other people have camped before. Kind of gives you an idea of what a lot of the time you're going to end up doing, what it's like to be sitting around alone, like the kind of things you do in camp. And some ideas to kind of keep you entertained and some mental tricks for getting through some of it if you tend to get, kind of bored around camp by yourself. Anyways, I hope you really liked the video. If you did, hit that like button, and these should pop up real quick in a second. They'll give you an idea of what videos you can watch if you want to click here and go forward to some other videos, some other playlists. And then over here, if you want to hit that subscribe button, it even says subscribe on it there. I did that myself. So I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. If you like these camp videos, please let me know. I would love to do more of them in this long format or in a shorter format if I can. Just love hearing from you guys and getting community involvement. It's a lot of fun. So we'll see you in the next video. Should be posting the second half of the walk into this town, which is Port Clinton / Hampton. So look forward to that, and I'll see you later.